What's up, YouTube? It's Scott with Volz Showcase, and I haven't been here in a very, very long time. I had some other things going on. Been doing some other things other than YouTube in my life recently. Um, had some medical issues going on, as I've touched on that in previous videos. But anyway, kind of missed it. Kind of wanted to get back into it a little bit, getting closer to football season. How about those baseballs, though, real quick before we start into football and never look back? What an amazing year. I really almost truly did some baseball videos. There just was so many games, and I had other stuff going on that it was difficult for me to seem like it just never worked out timing wise. But anyway, if you followed the football team and the recruiting rankings, which is what everybody's talking about right now, 2025 stuff, it's shaping up pretty nicely for Tennessee. We got a big one. The reason I'm on here right now, we got a big one coming any minute in the next half hour. We're expecting Shady Hayward out of Georgia to it's pretty strongly looking like a Vol commit, so hopefully we snatch him from another one from Georgia. We just recently reached out and got Travis Smith, which is a stud out of Atlanta. Kind of robbed him out of Georgia's backyard there, and hopefully we're going to do the same thing here for this Shady Hayward out of Toombs High School. And how you all feeling about this class? I know the recruiting rankings dropped a little bit as far as where George McIntyre fell. I think that's bull. I mean, but he was injured. We covered that on another channel. I gave a shout out when I did this live video. I gave a shout out to my main channels that I follow, guys, and I get my information from. And my number one channel that I'm a member of myself is my Boogie Bentley is Talking Vols Network over Talking Vols channel. He's a wonderful podcaster, probably the best Tennessee channel out there. Sports Talk J is another big one I follow a lot. And then I just recently discovered the House of Orange channel. It was the Indie Kid. Indie Kid used to be on Boogie's channel quite a bit, and I did not realize that the Indie Kid went and got his own channel a few months ago. So shout out to those guys. If you guys haven't checked out their channels, please do so. Really, really amazing content on that stuff. How do we feel about this 2025 class, and how do we feel about this upcoming 2024 season? The GMAC, George McIntyre apparently had a hand-thumb injury, which prevented him from participating in the Elite 11 competition that was going on a while back. And most of the critics and most of the people that followed that said, well, if he's unable to compete in that, it's not going to be good for his rankings. And it wasn't. Some people seem a little bit concerned about some of his throwing a little bit accuracy, but I mean, that's just a couple people. I think he's fine, and I think he's 5-star talent. So now he's a 4-star. He could very well, after his upcoming senior season, he could get bumped back to a 5-star for sure. But anyway, switch gears. Hold on, I'm checking here to see if Shady's committed yet. I don't think so.
Are the inches?
No, not yet. Anyway, I think 2024 season, obviously it starts with Nico, starts with quarterback. You got to have a quarterback, as we saw in 2023 season with Joe Milton. We just didn't have enough accuracy at that position to let us compete game in, game out. Now, Joe obviously had a cannon of an arm. At times he could really launch it. And there were times in certain games where Joe Milton looked really, really amazing, was on the same page as the receivers and the route running. And it just looked like, all right, it um, looked like he's about ready to take that next step. And you get excited and you see it and you think, oh man, this is it. They're going to turn the corner. And from here on out, the rest of the season is going to be glorious. And we're just going to, and then, the next series would come, and he was a little bit more, a little bit hit and miss. Is some of his motions with his feet. When he didn't plant his feet well, and he was kind of flush from the pocket, Joe just didn't. But listen, he's evolved for life. He did the best he could. He was a good quarterback, if not great. He was a good quarterback. We won 9 games. I mean, so. Um, we won 9 games with him, and he wasn't. He's probably not elite, as most of you guys would agree with me on that. Um, so anyway, Joe's off to the pros. Nico's in here. I think we know what we should have with Nico. Nico balled out in the Iowa game. Nico has the physical tools. He has the size. He's put on some pounds. I think he's what did I read? 215, 220 now. So he's a little thicker, which he desperately needed that. He was, I think, 195 when he got there. So that's a good thing. Very, very high rated recruit. We all followed Nico enough to know that he was, exceptional. So he's got the arm strength, he's got the accuracy. He actually can flush from the pocket and run better than Hendo Cinco. So I'm not sure if I was Josh Heupel, I would be having him run like that. I think when you have an elite QB in the SEC, and you need an elite QB in the SEC, do you really want him running down the field and possibly getting injured? It's going to happen as the season progresses and you get in tight situations with games to open up your other parts of your game. It's going to happen. Would I actually make a package, to run him specifically? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I was Josh Heupel, I would really do that. I would try to keep him as healthy as possible, because behind Nico, it gets a little questionable at that point. You got Gaston Moore, that's obviously got some experience, but we've not truly seen him do it. You got Jake Merklinger, that's, so you just don't know. Nico's your guy for this particular season. Nico is absolutely your guy, and you don't want anything to happen to him. So, but anyway, back to this 2025 recruiting class. So, GMAX there. We got another great QB in the boat. It sounds very promising for the 2026 kid, Faison Brandon, or is that it? I think that's it. Super, super highly rated. Is he the number one guy in the country? He's close. So it sounds very, very promising for the Vols, and his commitment's coming up too. I know that's 26, and things can change, and people say, it's too early. You don't know what's going to happen with that. That's very true. It's very true. Look at this Deshaun Brand. One second, let me update myself. No, we're still waiting. So anyway, Shady Hayward, man, this dude's a safety in Georgia. He's a highly rated top 100 prospect at safety. I don't know if Tennessee's looking at safety. We obviously need an upgrade in the secondary, so his talents will be very well. Following this other channel there, that they're keeping me up to date on this live commit on Shady Hayward, man. But anyway, this boy's a stud. If you haven't looked up any of his tape, you can look up his tape from Georgia. Lagonza Hayward, Shady Hayward, out of Toombs High School, I think is the name of it, in Georgia. He is a stud on the defensive front, or on the front, but on the secondary safety. So We'll jump. I think we're sitting at number 12 on 3 recruiting right now. Tennessee is with 18 commits. This is a top 100 kid. I think on 3's got him at 75. And you get a 75 commit, man, we will jump into the top 10. I'm almost 100% confident we will jump into the top 10. The big fish, everybody. Well, before I go there, Deshaun Bram. I'm not sure which way you say it. The Oregon kid is that we all thought was coming to Tennessee. The media thought he was coming to Tennessee. He committed to Oregon June 29th, I think it was. He kind of from all the sources that say, the people that's in the know, say that Oregon absolutely threw the book at him. So threw the money at him. So if that's the case, I'm sure that played into his decision. Hold on just a second, guys.
I'm so confused. That's not an orange boy. That's a yellow. I think it's $20 Canadian. Shout out to the guy, man. Finally figured it out. L36 football time in Tennessee. Let's freaking go. Shout out, guys. Appreciate you in the chat. Right top Tom is also in the house. Yesterday,
Not sure. I had one guy pop on here and say that he committed, but I'm not technically seeing that. So that might be bogus. Huh.
See if Shady's gone live. Yep. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Here we go. Hold on just a second, guys. He's committing right now. Let's see what happens here. Here is Lagonza, Shady Hayward. I got a couple devices running here, gang, so I can kind of see what he's doing right now.
Did I just mute?
I don't know what you did. Did he do it?
He muted himself, so I don't know what he's doing. Oh my gosh, seriously, this is a nightmare.
I don't know what happened to his audio.
I think he's muted.
He must be, because there's no way to mute
Crazy.
the audio.
Yeah, I'm trying to
talking right now, but
bring this to you live to see what happens here, man. But anyway, we need his talent. This is a highly, highly rated kid. Very, very high 4-star, 93 something. So
watch you hit Top State.
he met the kid, the high school kid. Shady Hayward actually messed up his audio on his end, so he's got himself muted and no one can hear him. So it's a technical glitch.
I opened another window and I still can't hear him, so it must be muted.
I'm not sure what is going on there. I don't know if he's going to unmute himself right when he commits.
I'm always worried that it's my fault. I'm the one with the technical difficulties, right?
If you can hear some talking in the background, that is my boy Buggy Bentley on Talking Balls Network. Anyway.
Yeah, see, I'm not the only one. There's somebody else there. So he must be muted. Let people file in. Speaking of file in,
we got
1,100 people watching live right here on the Talking Balls Network. We'll take you all the way up to the decision of Shady Hayward. And we're going to talk to David Sanders. Man, David Sanders took a trip out to Nebraska. He is now on his way to Knoxville. And we're going to roll out the big carpet.
Sorry. Had a little technical difficulty there myself.
I know. It's for a reason.
Oh, here he is. He unmuted himself, boys. Let's go. Shady Hayward out of Toombs High School, Georgia. Top 75 athlete in the country. Very, very highly rated. Whoever gets his skills is getting a gift here.
Like top 5 is ball. Coach, stop it.
I don't know what's going on here. It's a nightmare. Let me adjust this mic a second. Pop filter.
I'm waiting until everybody get in. We're gonna start. He knows what he's doing. He's learned the way of the book. You gotta play it intro. You gotta play the organ.
Anyway, some of the latest intel flying in here, while we're waiting on him to get his technical difficulties in order, it looks like he's waiting on a bunch of people to come online here. He's going to do it once he's got a bunch of people in the chat. I guess. So that's what the issue is. The other big thing, the huge big fish that everybody's talking about, David Sanders, offensive tackle, like number 1, number 2 player in the country for 2025. How confident do you got boys feel about that? Him as a Vol. A while back, extremely confident. His commitment's coming August 17th. He's out of the Charlotte area. I actually got family that live all in that region of the country. I don't really necessarily have insider knowledge on it, but he, from what I've read, from everything, I was really, really strongly thinking he was a Vol. And then recently, he chose to. He's actually at Nebraska right now, taking another trip to Nebraska. Which, I see that being a tough fit for him. But he's good friends with some people on the Nebraska team. I forget the other kid's name that's there that he's really close to. Is it Dylan? Anyway, but he's leaving Nebraska, flying directly to Knoxville, and from Nebraska, he's going to fly directly to Knoxville and do another visit with Knoxville literally today and tomorrow. And so, we'll see if he takes more in the upcoming weeks. But that's got to be a really promising sign for UT to get a guy flying directly from the one school's, city to Knoxville. He is having all kind of technical difficulty. Shady is. He's up and running. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna stop talking for a minute so I can hear this. He's got his phone backwards, which is a little funny.
I will be taking my challenge to the next 4 years.
It froze.
Oh, he's got an orange flag. That's a Tennessee flag. Dude, this Instagram, this internet goes out right as he's pulling the toboggan.
Man, so this dude goes to his internet froze. He must not have good internet. Bless his heart. On Rocky Top. So is he a Vol? We think he's a Vol. I mean, they're playing Rocky Top, but the commitment video froze and everything. All right. Okay, his internet came back. They play the song, whatever. His internet came back. He's dressed in orange. He's coming to Tennessee, boys. So, Shady Hayward, top 75 athlete. All right, sweet. So, that is a huge addition. I'm going to pause this other video over here, man. So, we will absolutely take a chance after this one. And when I was getting Shady Hayward in the boat, guys, is shaping up to be one for the books. It's shaping up to be definitely top 10. Some people say that we can get close to top 5. I'm not sure about top 5. We absolutely would have to get David Sanders to approach top 5. There's talk that Justin Perlotti may join it. And Deshaun Brom, sorry, I don't know how you say it. Um, there's a lot of talk that he's going to have a flip this weekend, like Sunday. Like, without naming sources, I have some direct knowledge on that particular situation, and they assured me that there's a video coming on Sunday where Deshaun Brown flips from Oregon to Tennessee, and I mean it's a high confidence level too, and somebody that actually should be in the know on that. So I don't want to mention names because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to, so I won't. But really super confident that I can get a video out here tomorrow or Monday about that. And that, man, that's going to be a big one too because he was a high rated 4-star, I think. So we get Shady just now. We get Brom back in the boat. And so I was talking about the big fish and David Sanders, and you're talking about the number one, number two player in the country. And he was in Nebraska right now. He's going to fly to Knoxville. He's going to take a visit to Tennessee. We got about 3 weeks on his commitment ish, something. August 17th. I have a hard time thinking he's going to take his talent to Nebraska, not because it's his friends there. I know he wants to be with his friends, but of course I know they got the new coach. I know Matt Rule, I think, is there. So I'm sure he's selling some sexy stock out there and trying to get Nebraska, saying that he's going to rebuild them and he's going to do. Yes, I think Matt Rule's a good coach. I think he can do all those things. I'm not sure he's going to do it real soon because of where Nebraska has been in recent years. So, does David Sanders, a player of that magnitude, come to a Nebraska team knowing it's going to be a multi-year rebuild? I'm not sure about that. I really am not. I could, before I think he goes to Nebraska, I truly think he would go to Ohio State. He's went there a lot. He's took a lot of visits. We know Ohio State is a national title contender. I live fairly close to. Well, I live 2.5 hours from Columbus. I am in West Virginia, and he has visited Columbus, Ohio, quite a bit. He likes it. He knows that they're proven. Um, really, other than Ohio State, they just got to get over the hump with Michigan. You got to beat Michigan and you got to beat, Penn State. And, other than that, the Big 10's not that intimidating. I know you added some other teams in there, but it's not like the SEC. So, but my gut is telling me, and of course my heart, but my gut is telling me David Sanders is going to be a Vol. So, man, that it would be a huge, massive. If we just got Shady. If we get Shady, we flip Brom, we end up with Perlotti, and we get Sanders. And I'm forgetting someone. There's another one in there too, and I can't think who it is. It'd be amazing. So when you look at this 2025 roster that's stacking up, so we know GMAC. All right, we got GMAC in QB, Douglas Utu, inside linebacker, 6'4", 315, very highly rated 4-star, 94 over 94 points on that one. He's a stud. So Marion Dye, when we landed out of Elkhart, Indiana, very high rated 4-star. He plays edge. Travis Smith, the one we just stole from Atlanta, stole out of George's backyard, which is awesome. You gotta love that. Not only do you get a high rated kid, but you take him, you go into Georgia like we just did with Shady. So I'll say this, I can't stand Georgia. I'm a Vol fan, so I don't like Georgia, and I do not like Florida, and really don't like Alabama either. How can you? But it's awesome to get a good commit. But when you can go into another SEC's backyard and handpick some of these high-rated athletes, and the Georgia guys are going to come in here and say, "Oh, we didn't want him. He didn't fit our system. He wasn't good enough." Listen. That's bull crap. That's seriously bull, because you're telling me Georgia Bulldogs wouldn't take a top 75 national kid? Don't believe that. Don't listen to that, Vol Nation. That's not true. Shady was just leading involved. Yeah, I think maybe Georgia was sort of in it early, but Tennessee just didn't let their foot off the gas. They pushed and they pushed and they pushed, and they finally got their guy. So, awesome. Rodarius Jackson. That's who I was forgetting. Yeah, defensive line, 6'3.5", 275. Jaden Lofton, no, I'm sorry. I read you the wrong one. Rodarius Jackson is a wide receiver, 6'2", 185. Sorry. Christian Gass. That's who I forgot to mention a minute ago. We just got him last weekend, I think it was. Linebacker that's another one that's out of Covington, Georgia. So that's another. You got Travis Smith, you got Christian Gass. Now Shady, that's 3 in a row that we have handpicked and took from Georgia Bulldogs backyard. Awesome. Jack Van Dorslayer, I think I'm pronouncing that right. The tight end, the awesome tight end out of Texas. 6'6", 6'5", 230. Awesome kid. Some of the other ones are not ones that we do have some 3 stars and stuff, but welcome all the 2025 Vol commits, man. Excited for this upcoming season, and then this class is going to take us to the the future and just build the crap out of this thing. Josh Heupel is doing a very good job at recruiting. I would like to see us land a couple back-to-back top 5 classes. The difference is, let's talk about it for a second. So, back in the day, 2015, 2016, Butch Jones, I used to laugh and call him Butch Jones, but Butch Jones actually landed some very elite talent. But he just couldn't do anything with it. I think he was kind of a goober, kind of a coach. He didn't have it figured out. He didn't fit in well in the SEC and in Tennessee. His system was a little flawed. Don't think he knew what to do with the talent when he got it. And we just, we had a couple 9-win seasons. Josh Dobbs did a lot of improvising and made a lot. And we had not just Dobbs, we had Kamara. But when you think about the classes we had with Butch and what could have been, and you think about Shy Tuttle, and you think about, what was the big tackle? What's his name? Mackenzie Milton? Mackenzie. You know who I'm talking about. Is that his name? God, a few years ago, I'm kind of forgetting. They were awesome athletes, but did they really achieve their potential while they were at the collegiate level? And the answer is no, they did not. They were, if I'm not mistaken, both of those guys were 5 stars. I remember when they committed, I was at a restaurant and I kind of hooted and hollered, and my wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" But I was very excited because you just don't get those athletes all the time. They didn't do much. They did. They contributed, and we appreciate them. But they didn't. You were expecting the next level, John Henderson, Albert Hainsworth, and it wasn't that. So. But this is not Josh Jones' coaching team anymore. This is not. But Josh Heupel has this stuff figured out. He is able to get the most out of his athletes and coach them up. These boys know what they're doing. Of course, they're going to make mistakes. They're kids. We all make mistakes, right? But they are pointed in the right direction, and he's landed some Jimmies and Joes. Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's, but whatever. But you need Jimmy's and Joe's, honestly. You got to, when you're in the SEC and we're competing against Georgia and Alabama, and all of them, really, for that fact. Ole Miss is got a heck of a team right now. But now, of course, you got to compete with, and we got to go play Oklahoma now. That'll be a heck of a game. God, return of Heupel and all that. But you got to have the Jimmys and Joes, though. You can have the best scheme in the world. Heupel's system is going to win. Heupel's system is going to be an offensive whatever. Heupel's system is going to be fun, but with the wideouts and the fast pace, and we saw what it had the potential to do in 2022 with Hendon Hooker. But in all honesty, this 2024 season ought to be way better. Let me back up. In this, looking at the team and looking at the question marks of the team and looking at Nico and looking at Hendon Hooker, 2024 volunteer team. I'll go on the record and say that 2024 Vols team should be sorry, my dog's barking. should be at least a little better, marginally better, some better than 2022. And we're talking about a team that was knocking on the door of the National College Football Playoff and Heisman candidacy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to end this video. There's obviously something going on upstairs I'm going to check on. All right. Catch you later. Go Vols.